I didn't just mess up the audio just that quickly. Let's see. Well. What up? See, I'm trying to pull it together. You know, some days I put a little more effort into it than others. Today's one of those days where I try a little bit. Trying a little bit. Okay. Sure, I need my sunglasses. Don't know where they are. Who's ready? Oh, okay. And it looks to be warm outside, so let me grab my old lady fan. Old lady fan. Okay. For the mature woman. All right, come on in, friends. Come on in. That's a lot of noise, sorry. Shit, dang it. Left my phone stand upstairs. All right. Share this live with whoever you think can resonate with it today. Okay. I'm getting like a lot of steps right now. Okay. I've been on my 10,000 step goal a few days a week. 3 days a week is what I'm shooting for. So far, so good. I just got 100 of them right now. Oh, yeah. It's beautiful. Oh, yeah. Why am I not ready? Because I'm not ready. That's why. Because I'm not. That's why. Yay. Now I'm all sweaty. I just showered and now I'm all sweaty again. A whole mustache. What the hell? What the hell? Okay. This means y'all have plenty of time to get yourselves together too. So I don't want to hear nothing when I start talking. Okay. I like this little porch. I feel like I'm out on the stoop. And I kind of am. I'm a little fancy today. Come on, outfit. Go away, bro. Come on, outfit. I'm a little fancy. Y'all know I be switching it up. If you follow me at all, you be like, one day she look like a boy, next day she like a girl, next day she in the middle. It'd be like that. And it all feels good to me. Yeah. It's a wonderful, beautiful day, y'all. Welcome to the morning message. Welcome, y'all, to the morning messages. My name is Allah-mi Basheer. There's no L in it. Allah-mi Basheer. Intuitive self-mastery coach. Here yet again, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Pacific, for live intuitive channels. Massage. I am an intuitive life coach. I help people reconnect with themselves. In short, that's it in a nutshell. I help people reconnect with themselves so they can make more confident decisions and live the life that they desire. And of course, one that they deserve. Because we all deserve. I have that song in my head. I have to just say it. If I just got to be free, free, free. Oh yeah, you know I was in that fucking pocket. Don't play with me, okay? I ain't no singer, but I be singing, okay? Yeah, that's how I feel. Is I'm here to help people get fucking free, and the best way to do that is to reconnect with your soul self, okay? Because you know what to do, you know which way to go, and you know what's not for you when you start operating from that place. So, intuitive self mastery is the name of my game. The gateway to it is understanding your human design, learning how you're meant and made to move, how you're meant and made to thrive and be successful. Do y'all know that? Like, for real, for real, for real, for real, for real, all bullshit aside. Do you know that you are made to be successful? Like, you made to win at this shit. You made for it. It's not even a forced fit. It's just the opposite. It's harder for us to force ourselves to live in containers and life experiences that really don't resonate. That shit is harder than it is to just be yourself. Isn't that interesting? But yet we choose the former. So I welcome y'all to stay put. Of course, listen, learn, live it. Okay. Don't just be inspired and motivated in the moment, but take this shit into real life application when you leave here. And if you need some help with that, of course, you can go to begreateveryday.com. I got a nice little sweat mustache. Let's work on that a little bit, okay? Proud of myself. Yeah. Hello, Crystal. Hello, Phil. Greetings. All right. Top of the morning to y'all, wherever you may be. Maybe it's evening and afternoon. I love that I got followers from all over the globe. We be having Ireland and Amsterdam and Lebanon and, of course, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, New Zealand. I mean, I literally have folks who follow this content from all over the world, and I love it so much. I'm living the life of my dreams, y'all. I called forth to be an international life coach and consultant, and damn it if I don't be doing that shit. Holy cow. I don't know where I got holy cow from. I've been saying that a lot. Holy cow. I think that's my way of substituting a cuss word. Okay. Anywhoser, let's get into the message of the day. Of course, I got 3 decks, my same little travel decks. These decks has been working real hard this last month. Okay. I literally own about 30 card decks. I only brought 3 with me, and we are holding strong. By the way, for anybody who wants to buy me a card deck or even a cup of coffee, the details are in the show notes. You can leave me a little love donation. I recognize that some of you have been doing that, and you know who you are, and I love y'all for that. Thank you. I love the energy exchange. Yeah, I love the energy exchange. I really do. It's affirming that this is not just a waste. Your comments are also energy exchange. Okay. Woo, it don't cost nothing to give a compliment. Okay. Or I'll even say some feedback. I welcome that as well. So, anyways, y'all tap in, friends. If you want to learn more about me, go to begreateveryday.com. Okay. So, how are you? Put it in the chat. Give me one word that kind of reflects your mood and your vibe right now. One word in the chat, if you will. The word that's coming to me is blessed. And honestly, what I'm really hearing is blessed like a motherfucker. Okay? Blessed like a motherfucker. I know it's early. Some of y'all, if y'all don't like cuss words, you probably want to just go and log off of this one because that's what we be doing over here. Okay? Somebody said overwhelmed. Okay? I'm feeling blessed and highly favored. Okay? Feeling overwhelmed. Anybody else want to throw something in the chat? One word. How you feeling? How you living? And even if you don't write it down, just think it for yourself. Come to recognize where you're at right now. Grateful. We got blessed, overwhelmed, grateful. By the way, I be feeling overwhelmed too. I really do. Don't think just because I say blessed, that don't mean I don't feel overwhelmed. Rested. Oh, that's a good one. I'm happy for you. That's good, girl. Rested. Okay. Another word that I'll add is relieved. If you got another word, throw it in there. Happy. That's a good one. Okay. They're all good. Okay. Even if somebody was like, I feel down. I feel sad. Okay. Feelings, all the feelings are valuable. They give us information about what's happening in our experience. That's what feelings do. It's intel. So whether you write it down in the chat or hold it to yourself, it's a good time to take note, literally, of how you're feeling, how you're living, what's your vibe, especially if it's top of the day. You just woke up not too long ago. Take inventory of how you feeling today. You feeling energized? Feeling excited? You already feeling defeated? Your day ain't even started. You feeling defeated? I've been there plenty of days. It's like, fuck. You got all this shit on your schedule, and you got some shit you don't want to do and some people you don't want to deal with. Like, fuck. Defeated oftentimes be the feeling. But I keep going back to blessed. And as my good religious folks say, highly favored. Okay? So frustrated with meetings that should be emails. Okay? Everybody can like in that experience. Resonate with that experience. Yeah, but take inventory is the question. How are you feeling? How are you living? Okay. So if you said anything else but blessed and highly favored or grateful, thankful, if you said anything that differs away from being appreciative of where you are in the here and now, this conversation's especially for you. Okay. And those of you who are in these moments of, vibrational high right now, enjoy that shit. Ride this wave. Okay. Buck this wave and make it go, stoke it. Make it go a little bit more. Okay. I guess you stoke a fire, not a wave. Just speaking what they hit me. But ride that shit. Okay. And if you're not on that high vibrational wave of feeling good, like, here's a call to action. Shift that narrative immediately. It's fucked up if everything might be and out of place as life might look. It's like blessed and highly favored. That's the name of the game. And but why? Okay, let's talk about it. Why do people, and I'll even say lie, okay? Okay, I'm gonna say the word lie, because some people lie and say they're blessed and highly favored. But as soon as they step away from that conversation, they go right back to complaining and right back to being upset and right back to not feeling good and feeling whole and complete and feeling like shit is wrong and should be happening and all the things that we might be blessed and highly favored. But do you really believe that shit? Some people be lying. Okay. When I say blessed and highly favored, it's because I can go right to a list of about 50 things that's going well in my life. And if you give me time and permission, and if I give myself the focus, I can come up with 50 things to complain about just the same. On the same day and in the same moment. So trust and believe when I say blessed and highly favored, it's not performative. It's a matter of my focus. It's a matter of the kind of feeling I want to feel right now. And I know where my focus goes is where my feeling grows. Where my focus goes is where my feeling grows. Christine says, confused and sad about a situation, but grateful to be here and shifting energy because it's not mine. Come on. Yeah. Shifting that focus shifts the feeling. Feels appreciative. Yeah. Jade is trusting. Yeah. If you woke up saying anything other than blessed and highly favored, it's not about lying to yourself about it because you don't really feel blessed, but it is about choosing to embody the blessings and acknowledge the ways in which you are highly favored. So like the human part of me wants to like sit in the complaining pot for a second. So for those of you who are feeling a little bit down and out of sorts, you might enjoy this part because like don't we all just like to complain just a little bit, like just for a second? Like who wants to always default to the positive thought and the positive perspective all the time? Sometimes it feels good to sit in the pity of the party. Okay. Sometimes it feels good to just hold ourselves in a place of victimhood, and the whole world is wronging us, and people ain't doing it right, and I'm not happy, and I can't get satisfied because they not, and you not, and we not, and all the things that are external to our internal experience. We blame our feeling. We hold our feeling good perspective up to the mirror of everybody else's behavior. They're not right, so I can't be right. So I get it. Sometimes people piss us off. Sometimes shit don't be going our fucking way. Okay. And some of y'all have been watching me long enough to see me crash out on camera about my real life experiences. Like shit ain't going my way. Crying and complaining and raging and doing all the things that in the moment do feel good. It feels good to express those feelings. So don't think when I say, to make that shift to feeling blessed and truly embodying the favor that is your life, I'm not lying to you, and I don't think you should be lying about it. Like, if you feel shitty, allow yourself to feel that shittiness feeling for just a little bit. Allow yourself to acknowledge it if you want to express it in a healthy way, through talking or crying or writing or jumping around just because it feels good to just let that shit out. Do what you do. But when you get done, you got to shift back into a different gear. And I'll say back just to give some of y'all some grace. Some of y'all never shift to this gear, but to shift into a gear of gratitude. And as I say, let that be your attitude. And again, why? Why, Allah-mi? If shit is fucked up, why do I always have to be the bigger person and go to the high vibrational feeling? Why do I ever have to shift when it's clear that this ain't right and I'm not feeling good because of it? Listen, if that mode of operation works for you, if that frequency works for you, like you can still live your life, be productive, be effective, be competent, feel joy at some point. I don't know how you get to joy if you're just sitting in a fucked up feeling. I don't really know how you make that shift. I don't have those answers. Okay, that's not a modality I'm familiar with. I don't know how you stay in low vibrational energy and experience a high vibrational reality. I don't know how that works. Okay, without some kind of shift. There's got to be a shift. Okay. So where you may be fully justified in your sour patch feeling and feeling wronged by life and seeing specific people who have harmed and hurt you in your reality, you may be very, very justified. As Dr. Phil says, how's that working for you? How is that working for you? When you choose to stay in the low vibrational feeling of even overwhelm, overwhelm can be a low vibrational feeling. Why? Because when we feel overwhelmed, it drops our mood. We feel pressure. We feel the weight of the world. We may feel feelings like uncertainty or a lack of support, or we may feel lack of clarity. There's a whole lot of lack that sits in the overwhelm. And I'm not picking on nobody. She was just brave enough to say it out loud. There's plenty of people that's feeling overwhelmed right the fuck now. Whew. Right now. So it's not about denying that that's the truth. It's the truth of an experience for many of us. But when we start talking about what works, sitting in that energy for too long is not going to be effective in helping you create shift. It's just not. You're going to sink further and 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 further into despair if you stay in that frequency for too long. So I'm here to talk about what works. not what's even what some of you call your truth. Thank you for the love donation, Najee. Thank you. I'm here to talk about what fucking works. And does it work for you to stay in certain attitudes and mindsets and belief patterns and vibrations? Does it work for you to stay in certain environments? Okay. And be able to make a shift into a high vibrational experience in your life? Is what you're doing working? So that's what we're going to get into today. This isn't a value judgment or are you living right or are you living wrong? It is how you're living working for you. Is it meeting the need of your ambitions, of your desired experience, of your desire for an elevated feeling, your desire for belonging, your desire for respect, your desire for joy, your desire for alignment? It's like, what the fuck are you doing? And is it working? And how do you know it's working? Because you can tell by how you feel. That's the simple math. Is what I'm doing working in my life? It's not nobody else's value judgment. It's not even no intuitive understanding. It's like, how do you fucking feel? Do you feel good? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel like you have a sense of certainty, even within uncertainty? It leads me to want to talk about God and this notion of God and a higher power. A lot of people don't believe in God, and that's their business. But when I ask the question of how's that working for you, and they may say, oh, it's working fine. It doesn't bother me either way or the other. And then they proceed to talk about all their fears and insecurities and doubts and uncertainties and all the things that come with having a lack of faith in something higher than self. If we don't hold on to the potential that there's more to life than what we're seeing, it's easy to check out from this bitch. Like, oh, this is it. This is it. This is as much potential as life has to offer me. Versus when you start, quote, believing, and dare I say trusting, as I see, I go back to look at the camera. What do I see? The word trusting. Dare I say trusting that there is a greater unfolding that is bigger than what you see before your eyes and feel below your feet. Like life is bigger than just this one singular perspective that we have. There's a higher power at play, a greater unfolding. I know for me, I do what works. So when I hold to be true this notion that there is a higher unfolding, a greater power than me that is helping to orchestrate this experience I call life, that makes me feel better. And not just makes me feel better because it's nice to just sit in what some might call delusion. It makes me feel better because it takes the pressure off of me immediately. Now I don't have to figure it out. Now I don't have to know. Now I don't have to be in control. Now I don't have to be able to stay 10 steps ahead. Now I don't have to do a whole lot of shit that I put on top of my own shoulders when I say it's all about me and what I'm doing. That don't work for me. That makes me feel overwhelmed. Do you know how much shit is happening in this 3D world that we don't control, that in our mind we feel like we should? I know for me, when I start doing things like surrender, and it might even show up as like apathy, where I say, shit, I don't care, whatever. It's not that I don't really care. It's like my ability, my way of choosing to let go of control of things in my environment. Because what I've learned that when I actually surrender my control, I'm able to actually yield more fruit in my life. The more I let go, the more I can let God, literally. I want to use like a lot of slang. It's like I want to say the more I can let God do is thug fizzle. Okay, those of you who don't know what that means, it's like the more I let go, the more I can let God be God and do what God do, which is create outcomes in my experience without me knowing, expecting, or being able to project where it comes from. Shit just shows the fuck up. The right people, the right conditions, the right opportunities, divine experiences. Just shows right up.
I was telling some friends a story yesterday of an experience that I had a couple of days ago. And it really is like a really strong example of what happens repeated. You get me, Crystal? Okay, she's like, I love like this. Okay, yeah, exactly. You know what I'm talking about. As if God is a thug, but I digress. I was having this experience the other day. I had gone to a workout class in my daughter's neighborhood. She lives not too far away. And so I had gone to the workout class and I was trying to walk back toward the direction of her house. I was actually going to the train station, but anyways, I'm going like this back route. You know, the gym is in a main central area. I could have taken the main central streets, you know, left, right, straight, you're there. I could have gone that kind of simple traditional route in a straight in those straight lines, but I chose a little cut through path. Okay. You know, my black ass is from California. I live in Costa Rica by way of Houston. I do not live in the DMV area, and I don't know a goddamn about none of these neighborhoods. But here I am at just shy of sundown. I decided I'm gonna go walk this back neighborhood to get back to where I'm supposed to be. All kind of trails, past the schools and past the parks and all the things that are in between. I decided I'm gonna go this way and try to guess my way back to where I was trying to get to. And I had traveled the path before, so I kind of knew, but I also was very aware that I did not exactly know. And here I go with my very limited knowing of the path that I'm supposed to take, but I embark on it anyway because I'm like, I'll be able to feel for where the street is. You know, I'll be able to know when it's time to turn. I'll recognize it, is what I was really thinking. So I started walking on my little path, beautiful neighborhoods, beautiful time of the day, the sun's going down. It was just so peaceful. So peaceful. I'm walking, and then I get to the place where I know I'm supposed to do something. I've gone straight as much as I know I'm supposed to go straight, and I know I'm supposed to turn somewhere up in here, but I didn't know where. So I was like, well, maybe it's not a turn right here because I didn't recognize it, right? So I keep walking, and intuitively, you know, spirit is telling me like you passed your turn, but I'm like, I don't know which turn it is, and I don't know if I'm supposed to go left, right, up, down. I don't know. So I just kept walking. And no sooner than I kept walking, I crossed the block and I made about about 3, 4 houses down past the turn. There's this man in his front yard, this white guy, and I think race is important in this story, okay? Because we all naturally have some biases and prejudices, whether we want to admit it or not. I'll admit that I have some bias and some prejudice. I'm in a neighborhood that I'm not familiar with. I know it's predominantly white, and I know my black ass is walking around it in sundown, literally, not knowing where the fuck I'm going. But I got on workout gear and my water bottle, so I'm hoping that these are kind of some of the internal. For those of you who are not melanated, okay, let me say this: these are part of the black experience that most white people don't know, is that we're doing a lot of self-checking. Okay, how am I presenting in this neighborhood? Do I look like a threat? Okay, no, I have on workout gear, I have on sneakers, I got on a hat, I clearly look like I'm working out, even if they just think I'm walking through the neighborhood. I'm harmless. This is some of the mental madness that people of color experience when we're in certain environments. Okay, so in my folks who know what I'm talking about. Okay, like we got to do a whole lot of self checking, a whole lot of self regulation, so we appear to be amenable, or don't appear to be a threat. I know it fucking sucks. Trust me. So, anyways, walking down the road or down the street, and there's this white man standing in his yard, and he's standing in front of a tree in his front yard. It's a really kind of looking barren tree, honestly. Didn't look like there was too much on it, but as I got closer, he notices me. How you doing? I think. Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Thank you so much. You're welcome. So, as I got closer to him, he speaks to me, and I'm just prepared. Because that's another thing about being in the Americas is that people do not speak here. You walk by. I did a TikTok on this. Like you're just walking down the street, you walk past somebody, and they just literally refuse to look at you. They don't make eye contact, and they don't speak. And that has been my experience with 97% of the people here. Okay. Very few people actually draw that human connection and will speak. Okay. So I was just prepared to do what everybody else has been doing because I'm tired of speaking to people with them ignoring me, literally. And so I was prepared to just walk past his house and ignore him too. But as I'm approaching, he says, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "I'm fine. How are you?" He says, "Great. Do you want a cherry?" And I'm looking at him and I'm like, "A cherry? Okay." So as I look closer at his tree, I'm like, "Oh, okay, his tree is bearing fruit. He's got cherries." He's like, "Yeah, they're sour cherries." So, I'm just into people who grow things. Like, shout out to Rebecca, who's got an incredible garden and just like a green thumb for all the things. I really am fascinated with people who like to grow things. So he immediately, this is literally the conversation. I'm not adding or subtracting anything. He says, "You want a cherry?" So I'm like, I want to get closer to the tree because I want to see the cherries. And so he plucks one, plucks another one. He gives it to me with his bare hand, which, the germaphobe in me wanted to have like a whole panic attack. But I literally checked in about it like, "Spirit, okay, am I supposed to eat this fucking cherry from the strange white man that I don't know where his hands have been?" Yes. Okay. So I take the cherry and I eat it. And I'm like, "Oh my God, it's delicious." He's like, "Yeah, I know. They're sour cherries." And so he had his little bag. And I thought that he was going to take and, kind of, there wasn't very many. I was wondering why his bag was so big, but he had a bag. I thought he was going to pluck more cherries from the tree to put in the bag, but no. He took the two and he gave it to me. He says, "Do you live in this neighborhood?" I said, "No, actually, no, I don't. I'm visiting." And he's like, "Oh." And I said, "Actually, I was trying to find my way back to my daughter's place through the neighborhood, but I think I'm lost." And he proceeds to ask, and I said, I know, I think there's a school right up here." And he's like, "What school?" And then I'm like, "I don't know." And I was like, "It's an elementary school." He says, "No, the elementary school is," and he points behind me back toward the street that I had just passed. So I say, "Oh, okay." He's like, and then like just naturally we started walking in that direction. So I was like, "Oh, okay, so I need to go this way." And he's like, "Yeah." And he starts walking with me. And then I realize after maybe like 4 or 5 steps, like he's walking with me. And we get to the corner and he's, oh, no, we're getting towards the corner. And I said, "Well, you don't have to walk with me." He says, "No, I'm just going to the Whole Foods right up the street." He says, "Well, you need to go this way." And and then as he's pointing this way, he looks up and he says, "Oh, and this house right here, this is the only Trump supporter that we have in the neighborhood." This is literally our conversation, you guys. I look at the house that he's pointing to that's right on the corner where I'm about to turn, and the person has like Trump signs in the window, whatever. He's like, "This is the only Trump supporter that we have in the neighborhood." And I said, "Oh, well, that's good. You only have one." And then we just kind of laughed and he never broke stride. And he's like, "Okay, you need to go that way." I said, "Okay." And then he just turned his back and just like continued on down his road. And I'm now walking down this street where I was supposed to be. And I yelled back to him. I said, "Thank you, kind stranger." And he did not acknowledge and he heard it. He did not turn around, acknowledge or anything, but he went on by his way and I went on down the path now with my little cherry treats. And I bring that experience up because whew, most of us are so afraid to really trust our intuition. And when I tell you I set out on this walk knowing I did not know exactly where I was going, but I was trusting in the process of me getting there successfully, like my gut will show me or tell me when it's time to turn. And even though it was trying to tell me, I wasn't sure. And then here comes this quiet stranger with all of, 3 minutes of dialogue who lives right near the corner where I needed to be. He literally stopped me, he gave me a treat, and redirected me back toward my path. Okay. I didn't ask him for directions. I wasn't even fully convinced I was absolutely lost yet, but he literally caught me mid stride, redirected me, and he gave me so many lessons in that short amount of time. One about judging a book by its cover, because I'll admit that I wasn't like afraid of him or nervous of him, but I was wondering if he would be skeptical of me, not knowing me. I did feel a level of distrust and not knowing or feeling like he would be able to support me and not knowing that he would be able to want to put me back on my track. There were so many biases inherent in it. And even as we were walking, he was redirecting me back toward my path. He made it very clear to me that I was safe. He was like, "This is the only supporter in the neighborhood." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So that's his way of telling me that he's down with the brown, right? And there was nothing like salacious. He wasn't doing too much. It was just very simply put. Like, and I'm like, okay. So that allowed me to kind of like relax a little bit more. It was almost as if he might have been a little bit intuitive. And maybe he was. Maybe he was on assignment. But my point being this is learning to trust my intuition has been an experience that I've had to build up a level of confidence in over time. And that experience the other day, just again, yet another receipt that confirmed for me that if we just trust, we don't have to know all the details. We don't have to know the details of how things are going to go or what I need to do next after the next thing. You know, it's like just start in the direction with full trust that intuitively the universe will guide your path and put you in alignment. Okay. So when I tell you I do what works, following my intuition does not fail me ever. And I do it over and over and over and over again, almost expecting at some point that it's going to leave me stranded. It's going to leave me in need. It's going to leave me hanging. And every time it comes through, every freaking time it comes through, you guys. I mean, it was such a serendipitous moment that I'll never forget it, honestly, because there's no way I should have just set out on this trek not knowing where I was going and not having full confidence that I knew how to get from A to B to C to D to get to my destination. And it's such a great analogy for so many of us who refuse to start in on the journey just because we don't feel like we know every which move to make, not recognizing that when we start in the direction that life will literally make sure we stay on the path if we follow our intuition. So that was my weekly reminder. Yet another receipt I have to assure me that in life, not just when I'm going from the gym class to the train station, but just in fucking life, that I'm always being guided. I'm always being protected. I'm always going to be in alignment for as long as I'm tapping into my higher self. So even if you don't believe in, quote, God, through, I know some of y'all have really been introduced to this moniker in a whole lot of abusive ways. But even if you don't believe in God, it's hard to deny that there is a higher unfolding that is happening when you just lean into it and trust it. It's undeniable. Okay, literally. You might say it's unbelievable. I say it's undeniable. And yes, I did make it to the train station before dark. So, yeah. Hey, Vicky Lee. Hey, boo boo. Yeah, she's saying she does the check in all the time. Shout out to all my black folks. I know y'all do. Every last one of us do it. We're conditioned to do it. It's a measure of keeping ourselves safe in this world, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Okay. These are the things that white privilege doesn't have access to. It's just not part of their reality. These are some of the biases that they're not aware of that are very much an active part of our lived experience on a daily basis, every day, all day. Okay. So, anywho, I follow my intuition because it works well. So, let's get deeper into some other stuff. Where's my water? Caption of this video says, do what works. Emphasis on the word well. Okay. Well. I ain't gonna lie to you. For the record, this water is utterly disgusting. Because I put some cucumber in it yesterday. Oh my God. I can't drink it. That's enough said. Just yesterday cucumber. Okay. That's not the water for me. Listen, I know we all out here just trying to make it, right? Some of us are doing a little bit better job of that than others. And when I say make it, I think on some level, we're all just trying to find some level of personal and professional success. We're all just trying to find some level of just general fulfillment, joy, happiness, positive experience. We're all just out here trying to develop kinships, relationships, and partnerships that feel aligned and feel rewarding. We all out here just trying to make it, trying to get our money where we want it to be so that we can create a sustainable life for ourselves or keep the money that we have. That's what I mean by make it. We all just out here trying to do the same thing in a variety of different ways. And in the doing of the things, many of us have habits and practices, kind of ways of being, ways of living that quite simply don't work well. Okay. It may work to an extent that it helps you to achieve certain gains and certain outcomes that you want to experience and want to reap the benefit of. It may work to an extent, okay, but does it work well? Okay. Wellness being the operative word here. It's not just what you're doing, getting something done, but is it working well? Does it contribute to your well being? Okay. I know that's one word, but I want you to separate it. Well being. Okay. Not well doing, well being. To be well. To be not just fulfilled and satisfied with the outcome, but to feel no compromise in your mental, physical, and emotional health as you do the things. I wonder how many of us are really working well. Is what we're doing working well, or is it working to our detriment? As I just told the story about following my intuition and how that I have so many receipts around that working well that I'm like a machine. I just want to keep doing it over and over and over, rinse and repeat because it fucking works well. That I didn't have to stress about my location and whether or not I was going to get to my destination. I just had to tap in and trust it, to trust the process, as we say, to trust our intuition, as we describe it. Okay. To trust that all is going to end well. So many of us have a really hard time with that. Trusting. There's that word again, trusting. We engage in habits and routines and decision making processes that may work for the moment or in the meantime, but does it work well? No, not all the time. And probably less times than we care to really admit. We have just habits, things that we do the way we've always done it. Okay, that doesn't mean it works well. It just means that's how we've always done it. But when we start adding that qualifier of things being well, working well, as in effective, and not compromising your mental, physical, and spiritual well being, that's a whole different report card to grade it against now. We start looking at how we make choices and important decisions. Many of you are still falling in the trap of just using logic and cause and effect to make decisions, failing to really be introspective to see how well it's working for you. And quite honestly, so many of us don't even want to be introspective just because, oh my God, if we really stop to take inventory of how things are really working and we're being honest with ourselves, it's working, but it's not working well because I'm stressed, I'm depressed, I'm overwhelmed, I'm insecure, I'm unsure, I feel fear, I feel anxiety, I feel depression, I feel dot, dot, dot. Insert negative emotion, negative extreme, compromise to your health and wellness. Shit is not working well. It's just how you've always done it. So today is a day of self-inquiry. Okay. Those of you who don't know what that means, it means to search yourself. Get curious about yourself. In particular to how you make decisions. How do you make decisions? And how is that working for you? Well, when I make decisions, I take my time and I kind of mull it over and I go back and forth and da 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 da. And then I come to my conclusion. Okay, well, how's that working for you? Even before we start talking about things like your human design and how you're made to make most confident decisions, like just think about what you're doing already and look at the consequence of those said decisions and use that as the evidence of how well your decision-making process is working. Are you impulsive and you just make a decision without even vetting it through your gut or vetting how you feel about a thing or what you really want for yourself? It's like you just make a decision because you know you got to make a decision. So you don't really have a process aside from pressure. Your process is pressure. When I feel pressure, then I make decisions. Okay. How's that working for you? Okay. Well, when I feel uncertainty, I know I just have to make a decision anyway, so I just make it. Well, so how is that working for you? Whatever your process is, it is time to be self-curious and inquire about how effective your process is. And maybe you can't go too far back in your own mental history. Just start with decisions you've made like in the last 2 weeks, whatever large and small they were. Whether you were deciding whether or not you were going to buy a car, or you were deciding whether or not you're going to plant tomatoes, or whether or not you're going to color your hair green. Whatever decision it is, like think back to your process, I'm hearing, of elimination. Okay. How did you come to make this decision? And when you look at the byproduct or the outcome of that decision, how well did it work for you? Do you feel a sense of peace and ease, flow and harmony? Do you feel a sense of alignment and rightness? Do you feel a sense of enthusiasm and fun, invigoration? Like, what is the feeling? What's the byproduct of your choices? And how well is it working for you? Are you someone who makes decisions but still feels uncertain? You're still constantly questioning, was that the right thing to do? Should I do this other thing? Maybe I'm supposed to do this other thing. Pay attention. If you're making decisions that still leave you in confusion, that means you probably haven't sourced the right way for you to make choices. And as many of you are already familiar with human design, everyone doesn't make decisions the same way. We're all different. Some of us can make the decision in the moment and know exactly what's right for us. Some of us absolutely must wait. Some of us choose to wait even though our knowing comes in the moment and we just ignore it. And then we start overthinking it or over romanticizing or over fantasizing. But listen, it's not for me to tell you you don't make decisions the right way. It's for you to be able to hold yourself accountable to your own outcomes. How is it working for you? If you find yourself in a matrix of a lot of piss poor decisions and you're still in denial about it, it's like, I'm not the one to tell you. You're the one that's going to have to come to that truth if something's going to actually change. That's what growth looks like, is self-awareness and then expansion. But you can't get to the expansion without the awareness first. Okay. All right. All right. All right, Allah-mi. All right. Shit. All right. Like this video, y'all, if you haven't had a chance to. I appreciate you. All right. So let's see what we got in this deck. All right. Okay. So first card out says avoid drama. Okay. Avoid drama. So here's the thing. There's a lot of good reasons why we don't trust ourselves in our own decision making. There's a lot of, quote, good reasons why we may deny the truth of what we really are feeling at a soul level is right or next and best for us. We have good reasons. And one of those reasons is that we are able to, at least what we think, at least, have to qualify that real hard. Okay. Many of us make decisions based on what we think is an attempt to avoid disruption, okay, or disagreement. Uh, we think we're making decisions to keep the peace in a situation. I'm not going to do this because if I do that, then so and so is going to be upset. The whole world's going to come tumbling down. I'm going to have this negative consequence or that negative outcome. Like, it's not going to work out for me if I do this that way. Okay. That is the quote, good reason why many of us don't trust ourselves and we don't truly commit to living and making decisions intuitively. Okay. We think that we're saving ourselves from harm, or as the card says, avoiding drama. And that could not be further from the truth. And it's not just the truth that I know, it is just the truth that even y'all know. You know what happens when your intuition tells you something, you don't do it, and then it comes back to hit you in the face. You think you're avoiding drama or avoiding some negative outcome by ignoring your intuition and just doing over here what you want to do in the moment because you made it make sense that this is the best thing for you to do. Avoiding everything that your soul is saying to you and the way it's cautioning you and the way it's causing you to pause and be skeptical or be uncertain for a little bit. You ignore all of that, okay, because we think we should not trust that. And instead, we go forth and do whatever we want to do in the moment, only to then be refaced with the truth of that reality that we knew, I knew something was not right, or I knew it wasn't flowing, or I knew it didn't feel completely peaceful, or I knew it didn't feel totally aligned, but dot, dot, dot. So I think a lot of this is self-sabotage. It's unconscious behavior. It's like you're not trying to do the wrong thing in your life, but when anytime we deny the truth of our intuition, we're doing the wrong thing in our life. And again, and not because I say so, but because it proves itself to be true every single time. Every single time. And we say, I knew. And you're right, you did know. You didn't know all of what you knew, but you knew enough to know better. Yikes. Whew. All right. Feel like I'm touching on some tender parts for some of you all. You knew enough to know better. But in your mind, you thought that if you just trust your gut wisdom, that it's going to lead you astray. And that is the lie that we all tell ourselves. I told myself that my gut wisdom is going to lead me into alignment. And it did on my walk the other day. Straight into alignment. Ran straight into this dude, as simple as he was. And it wasn't like he had a lot of charisma. I didn't say that part of the story. This dude did not have a lot of charisma. His affect was very flat, just very simple and very flat. He did not smile one time. He did not have bright light in his eyes. He was just like, you want a cherry? Oh, yeah, this guy is the only Trump supporter in the neighborhood. Yeah, you need to go that way. I'm like, thank you, kind stranger. I'm like straight out of a movie. Thank you. And it gave me a whole back of the head. It was so wild. It was like he was a literal angel planted right in my path to say, no, little birdie, going back that way. You going down the wrong road, literally. Go on back that way. That's where you want to go. Okay, thank you. Holy cow. So, you guys, this is a lot of energy around intuitive decision making. Okay. It's a lot of energy around intuitive decision making. And some of us can be a little bit more open to that notion in our personal life. We wouldn't dare think about that at work. Okay. Some of you may. Some of you actually trust your gut wisdom. It's like, yeah, I don't know. We just got to do this. You don't even know why exactly you got to do it or how it's really going to work out. It's just a feeling of certainty. Got to do it. There's a lot of folks in their professions that they naturally use their intuition, but they deny the truth of it as being intuitive wisdom, and they think it's just smarts. They give themselves credit for just being highly intelligent, and they are. It just is not coming from the ego or the mental mind. It comes from beyond it. And we all have those capabilities in that capacity. Whew. And the sooner that we learn how to not name it as a badge of honor for our personality to be so smart and so intelligent, but when we start to really call it what it is, which is intuitive knowing, gut wisdom, when we can operate from that place of knowing that's the level of intelligence we're drawing from, now it makes it replicable. You can do it over and over again. You know where to source it from. When you think that kind of level wisdom is coming from your mental mind, first thing you start trying to do is, quote, figure it out, which is the opposite of just being in the moment and letting the moment guide you, much like that walk the other day. So, how is life working for you? Are things working out well? If your answer is no, that means it's time to regroup, rethink, refocus your attention on your intuition. Okay. Regroup, rethink, and refocus on your intuition. Let that be your guidepost. Okay. We started out this conversation talking about gratitude being our attitude. When we're feeling down and low and out of sorts, gratitude is a gateway to higher vibrational experience. Yet so is trust. Trust is a gateway to higher vibrational experience. Yeah. It's the trust in knowing that no matter what I see before me, things have the potential to work out well when I follow my intuition. When I step back and release control over having to have it all figured out and I let it guide me, it leads me to right where I want to be. And don't take my word for it, just experiment with it yourself. For those of you who don't understand your human design and how you are best made to make decisions, that's step one. I don't know too many people who really can just trust their gut wisdom without knowing how they source their gut wisdom. And for not all of us, it's not true that we can know in the moment what to do. We don't always know in the moment what to do. You ever seen somebody in a moment of chaos and crisis just panic and freeze because they don't know what to do? So it really does pay to practice tapping into your intuition, you guys. It's not just a guidepost for direction, it's also a gateway to mental peace. It's a release valve on that pressure that we put ourselves under to know, to make the right decisions, to do the right thing. Whew. Your intuition knows more than your mind. It does. It knows more. It has access to all that is, as opposed to your mental mind only knows what you've experienced so far or what you've witnessed as a bystander to somebody else's experience. Your intuition can see the whole roadmap. You only see the street sign. It's like being on a plane as opposed to being in a car. Two totally different perspectives. Your intuition is the plane. It can see far and wide, way further than your naked eye, just from where you stand. Whew. Okay, let me get into these cards a little deeper. I got one more from this deck. Of course, I'm working with the Moonology deck. It's one of my favorite decks. Beautiful deck. Y'all have deck recommendations, a deck that you love. Someone introduced me to a deck yesterday, or day before yesterday. Celestial Insights. Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm here for new Oracle decks. I like pretty pictures, colorful artwork. All right. Card says release blocks. All right. We're talking about doing what works. Okay. Avoid drama, release blocks. Whew. So they're giving me this simple example of like walking. Yeah, exactly. I have the African Goddess deck. Yeah, I like to pull from that one too. Mm-hmm. Um, they're giving me this simple analogy, real simple analogy. You know, if you're walking down the street and there's big boulders in your pathway, you got one or two choices. You're either gonna climb over the boulders or you're gonna go around them. Those are your two choices. If you got a pathway and there are blocks, barriers, boulders in your way, you got two options. You're gonna climb over the boulder or you're gonna take a simple walk around. Okay. We get to choose. And we imagine if you got something big taking up space in your way, while your first instinct is like, this is the path I'm walking on, I'm going straight, so therefore I gotta just climb up over this boulder if I'm gonna get to the other side. Where somebody else says, okay, this boulder is here, but it doesn't have to stop me, and I can actually just, if I just pivot away from the path that I thought I was supposed to be on, if I just pivot a little bit, there's a pathway over here that is more seamless. It doesn't have boulders over here. I can just go here and then get back on that path and still be on my way. And I don't have to expend the energy and the effort of getting over the boulder. Okay. And this is analogy for life, of course. How powerful the pivot can be. But some of us be so dead set on walking the path as no, that's the path. It's a line. I'm going straight. With a refusal to pivot to make things easier. And maybe it's not how you planned it, but that pivot actually puts you back into alignment with less effort and more ease. But when we're afraid to deviate from a path that we think is the one, we naturally make life harder. Way harder than it needs to be. Life calls for us to pivot, you guys. They say the only thing that's constant is change. That is real. Change means there has to be pivots. It also means that pivots don't necessarily take you all out of the way. It may feel like a detour, but it actually puts you back in alignment with more ease. Whew. But some of you live for the drama. You're not really looking for ease. you find virtue and value in doing things the hard way. So then you could say, I got through that and I did all of that and I made it. It was so hard. But did it have to be? Did it need to be? Especially when your intuition is saying, yeah, just go this way. And you're like, no, why would I go this way? And I'm trying to go that way. And intuition's like, no, just go this way because then you go back that way. And you're like, no, I can't go that way if I'm going this way. How am I going to get over there? All this logic and reason as opposed to trusting. And then we get over there and like, oh, okay, now I can see how I can get over there way easier than if I just kept going straight. Big analogies for life. Some of us are committed to going the hard route. We think it says more about our character if we can endure difficult things. And that has a lot to do with our conditioning as well. You know, we're taught not to quit. We're taught to finish things to completion, to do what you said, how you said you were going to do it. Not recognizing that you didn't consult your intuition or higher power about none of the things you said you were going to do to know if it's even in alignment. Whew. Many of us have control issues where we just want to force fit outcomes because that's how we, quote, think it should be. Meanwhile, the universe, our higher power, our greater self is trying to redirect us in real time, but we don't listen. And sometimes we don't listen and we don't take inventory. So we just think that the whole world is failing us when really it's us failing ourselves. Whew. Okay. Yikes. All because you refuse to pivot. All because you won't tap into your intuition for knowing of what is right, next, and best. Which way do I go? Which way do I go? Which way do I go? And then we don't even check in for direction. We don't feel for direction. Whew. So I'm not fussing at nobody. These energies feel like I'm fussing. I'm just shedding light on the truth. And the truth is that so many of us have habits and patterns that are completely counterintuitive. It goes against our natural nature and how we're made to be successful. All right. Y'all with me still? Thank you for liking the video. If you didn't get a chance, now's your time. Okay, Najee, here's your deck. African Goddess Rising. Again, for anybody who's interested in a personal reading, feel free to go to begreateveryday.com. I've been doing these kind of back end readings as well. I think I'm gonna go live actually. Yeah, I'm gonna go live on Instagram for a little bit after this. Just a little bit though, because I'm hungry. Yeah, I'm gonna go live on Instagram. If you don't follow me on IG, it's also in the show notes at Allah-mi Basheer with no hyphen. Yeah, it's time to read some folks today. All right. Okay, got the card of the wounded healer. She's giving bad bitch, isn't she? Okay, she's like, don't fuck around because you will find out. I love that. Sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta look at it again because she's actually naked. There's a lot going on in this card. She's killing me with the knee sticking out. Okay, a little hip thrust. Come on. There we go. The eyes. She's got a whole bang and she's got chi-chis showing. Girl, cover up. Now I need to know what the cards say about her. She's doing a lot. Let me see. Card number 15. That's what's up. That was my basketball number. Number 15, Allah-mi Basheer. That's how they say my name. All right, so I don't know how to say her name though. Who's this archetype? Sekhmet? Sekhmet. Sekhmet. She's a goddess of wounded healers out of Egypt. And her guidance speaks, heal thyself. Everyone gets your best except you. You are a healer among your tribe. Stop putting your needs last. Okay, it says, when did you decide to become a martyr? Okay, take a breath. That's literally what it says, okay? When did you decide to become a martyr? Take a breath. Wounded healers hold sadness, rage, and fears of brokenness. Being a warrior wasn't a choice for our beloved foremothers. They did the best they could. But being a goddess warrior for us is knowing that we have the choice not to fight all the time. So the dive deep questions. Feel free to write these down, by the way. She's a cat you love her already. Yeah, she's a bad bitch. I ain't gonna hold you. Okay, she's giving posture, stance, and eye contact. Like, don't fuck with me. And I love that. So it says, here's some deep dive questions. You can write these down if you guys want to. What are your swords, the weapons you use to fight? And what are your shields, the ways you defend yourself? Okay, so what are your swords, the weapons you use to fight? And what are your shields, the ways you defend yourself? Dare to lay the burdens down along with your swords and shields. Okay, and the affirmation says, it is safe to put myself first. Okay, so I've been getting a lot of hits around this notion of the wounded healer. It's very much the season of my life that I'm in, as I'm in my, what is it, Vic? My Chiron return? Yeah, I'm in the season of my wounded healer stage where I am alchemizing past hurts and pains and transmuting that energy into personal power. Okay. That's how the wounded healer energy is taking over my life in this season. It's a transmutation that is happening. Okay. And that's what this is calling for. It's transmutation. When did you decide to become a martyr? Take a breath. Wounded healers hold sadness, rage, and fears of brokenness. Okay. And the affirmation says it's safe to put myself first. Whew. So it started out with everyone gets the best of you. Like everyone and everything else gets the best of us but ourselves. Whew. And if I were to define the best of you is your intuition. It's your inner guidance system. It's like what's you're sensing to know without really knowing how you know. Okay. You ever had a conversation with someone who had a personal problem and then you start talking to them and what someone might describe as witnessing to them, and now you have so much language to inspire, to encourage, to uplift, to to activate. You just got in your bag. You was just saying all kind of shit. You weren't even thinking about what you're saying. It was just you were in flow state, just saying all the right things at just the right time. Many of us can resonate with that experience and how natural it comes, especially if someone around you is hurting or struggling. You have a natural reflexive action to want to serve and support and help them, quote, heal in the moment. Like we do that for other people, but we don't always do that for ourselves. We don't always trust our inner wisdom to come through as fluid as it does for other people's support. That we don't trust that it can come through for us as well, for self-support. We don't trust it. We trust that we'll know what to say when it's time to say it to somebody else, but we don't always trust that for ourselves. I love the elders in this neighborhood. They be cracking me up. They be slow and steady, but they win the race. Okay, they get it done. So the embodiment of this goddess's energy is about really honoring the sacred self. Okay. Your sacred wisdom, your sacred path, your sacred journey. Emphasis on the word sacred. Okay. There is a sacredness to your experience that you forget is there. Okay. Divinity in your current situation that you forget is there. Okay. It's like everybody else deserves to be supported and loved and encouraged and activated, but not you. You martyr yourself to your circumstances by ignoring your divine wisdom, your inner knowing, and dare I say, your purpose. I guarantee you, for all of you who are walking the path with all the boulders and you choose to go over the boulders, that is not your purpose, is to make everything hard. Your purpose is to learn how to pivot, how to trust, how to know that you're still on a divine path, even though you can't see where it's going or how you're exactly going to get through it all. Whew. Like your path is your purpose and your purpose is your path. Okay. Whew. Okay, so it's just a lot of energy around this. They give me a lot of themes. Okay, so I just want to speak the themes: introspection, self reflection, alchemy, transmutation, flexibility, okay, guidance, trust. Okay, these are the themes of this wounded healer. Okay, these are the themes that all of us are navigating all the time in real life. It's just a matter of how we cope with it, how we deal with it. Okay. Whew, it's a lot of energy around our personal growth being connected to our intuitive relationship with self. Okay. Personal growth being related to your personal relationship with self. Isn't that how growth happens? Okay, I recognize something's not working and I choose to do it differently. But how do I know when it's time to choose to do it differently? Is you got to be introspective. You've got to self reflect. You've got to trust in your intuition. You've got to transmute these negative beliefs and thoughts and attitudes into higher vibrational knowing and focus. Okay. Whew, it's all of that. Okay. So it says it's safe to put myself first. Okay. Many of you will interpret that as an ego expression, and I challenge you to interpret it as an intuitive call to action. To put your inner knowing first. What does your gut wisdom say about the situation? What does your gut wisdom tell you what to do? Okay. Woo, it's like following the path and being ready to pivot. Okay. It's not about focus on a plan, it's about really getting in alignment with your gut wisdom. Okay. And then asking yourself again, how did that work for me? Did that work well? Okay. Did it contribute to my well being or a well lived experience? Okay. A positive outcome. A lot of energy around that. Okay. Whew, how well did that work out for me? Okay. And it's like if you're being honest, okay. And many of you will say, well, when I tried to trust my gut on something and I did it and then it didn't work out for me. Okay. Now, are you being honest with yourself? Because your definition of well might have been, I got what I wanted. Okay. Not realizing that what you wanted wasn't well for you. That's why you didn't get it. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So that's the key. Your intuition is 100% of the time going to keep you in divine alignment with what works out best for you, not just superficial outcomes that you're trying to control and create, that your intuition knows is not even in alignment. Okay. All right, I'm going to step back off some folks' neck right now because I don't know who this is, but y'all get it today. Okay. All right. This little garden is just so precious with these birds eating the bird seed. It's just so precious. This is just so precious. All right, last card of the day. Thank you for liking the video, good people. Feel free to share this video with whoever in your community you think needs to hear this kind of message. It's not a value judgment of who's right or who's wrong or who's fucking up and who's not. It's really, how is it working? However you're living your life, how is it working for you? Whatever belief systems you're holding on to, how is that shit working for you? Okay, whatever values you refuse to let go of, how is that working for you? Okay, it's all about results. Do what works well. All right, last card. Clearly, it's taking a minute. All right, last two cards, I guess. All right. So they came out at the same time, so I'm going to show you at the same time. It says help and calm. Okay. And I could not have picked more appropriate cards for this part of the message, because when we start talking about the reason why some of you really struggle to follow your intuition is because you don't have an easy way to self-regulate. Like, you start getting nervous and anxious, and you like it's like energy you got to express, so you just do something, as opposed to being able to wait for divine timing. Okay. As opposed to being able to center yourself and really tap into your gut wisdom. Okay. It's like so many of us just need to learn how to fucking self-regulate, and then all of our problems will go away. But because we're so anxious and so amped, we want to just decide, and we want to just do, and we want to just get things done, and we don't want to, quote, think about it anymore, when we never had to think about it to begin with, and then it fucks up the whole timeline. Throws us into a series of decisions that are all misaligned, only because we just couldn't self-regulate. Christine says, I'm hearing how important it is to take inventory, responsibility, and accountability in my life along the path with my HP to find what works well. HP or HD? And double down. Did you mean HD? I'm assuming you meant your design. How important it is to take inventory, responsibility, and accountability. Okay, class. Christine is going to co-teach this class today. These are our 3 words, okay? Inventory, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Self-reflection, self-inquiry, getting curious about yourself, starting to unpack the patterns underneath your experience, okay? Inventory. Responsibility, next word. That is recognizing you have a role to play in changing your experience, influencing more positive outcomes, okay? You have a role to play. I just had this conversation with another potential client who is struggling to really get clarity around some things in her experience. And my statement to her was, you're not going to get clarity just sitting there waiting for clarity. You have to take on the role of action, taking action in your life to do things outside of your comfort zone, and then you will get more clarity. Many of us want to sit and just wait for directions, instructions, and an A to Z path to show up, not realizing that clarity comes when we engage life, not retreat sometimes. Okay. And I say sometimes, because sometimes we do need to retreat. Okay. Those of you who have a 2-line in your profile and my hermits, you do need to retreat to get clarity. If you don't have a 2-line in your profile, that means that it's not about that. It probably means you need to step out more, either in experimenting with something, or being with community, or just showing up in the world. Just showing up. It's just fucking showing up, not hiding. Okay. The last word there being accountability, meaning that you're not just taking inventory of what needs to happen and recognizing your role in it, that you are actually creating a system of holding yourself accountable to change if change is needed, or to sustainability in ways that you're already in alignment. Okay. I'm hearing accountability is the currency that brings in the abundance. Okay. It's one thing to know better. There's another thing to do better. There's another thing to have a system of accountability that creates consistency in the doing of the better. Okay. That's what starts to create a pattern and a habit. Oh, higher power. Okay. Thank you for that, love. Okay. Along the path with my higher power to find what works well. Ashe, 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 ashe. So we got stuff to do, folks. Okay. We got stuff to be and do. We got stuff that we want to experience. We want stuff that we want to own and have. We got shit to do. And the way in which many of us are going about it is just not sustainable. It doesn't work well. The way you're currently moving, the way you're currently making decisions, the company you're choosing to keep or not keep, is not working well. It may be working, it's serving some aims and objectives, but it's not complete satisfaction and fulfillment. And that's the measuring stick. That's how we know if it's working well, is I feel fulfillment. I feel ease and flow. I feel joy and satisfaction. Not just momentarily, but consistently. Consistent with consistency. Okay. So, I feel complete. I feel hungry too, but I feel complete. I feel complete with these messages. Ask yourself, is how I'm living working well for me? Is it contributing to my ultimate goal of inner and outer peace and satisfaction, alignment, joy, and harmony? And if your answer is no, something's got to change, and quickly. Quickly. I welcome y'all to tap in, friends. If you want to book a one-on-one reading, I welcome you to do so. The details are in the show notes. You can go to begreateveryday.com and book a clarity call. I invite you to do so. Okay. I invite you to do so, to book a clarity call. If you want to learn more about your unique human design and how you are best made to make decisions that you can rely on with confidence, I invite you, book a human design consultation. Whew, whatever you do, don't just sit and do nothing. Okay. Even if it's not working with me and allowing me to support you, don't sit and do nothing. If things are not working well, this is a call to action and a time for change and transmutation. Okay. But if you do need some support with that, I'm happy to offer it. Go to begreateveryday.com, book a discovery call for coaching, and let's unpack it. Okay. All right, y'all. Najee, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you to all of you who joined. Thank you so much to those who shared the platform with others who you think can resonate. Thank you for all of my repeat and continuous clients over the years. I've started reflecting on how long I've known so many of you, and it's been years. It's been 5, 6, 7+ years with some of you, and I'm really, really, really grateful for that. So y'all stay tapped in, tuned in. I'll do the same. I'll be back out in these streets tomorrow, Friday, as I'm here Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern for the live intuitive channel message. Thank you for joining the morning message. I need an outro. Can you tell? Dun, 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 dun. I love y'all. Peace.